everybody. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful to you that you choose me instead of all this extraordinary speaker. How honored and blessed I am. This is my day, so we're going to have a great time together. And we're going to talk about something that we all experience. The challenges. We go through so many challenges, and you're all calling me and asking me, what am I going to do? I'm losing my home. I don't have a job. My mother died. My husband is divorcing me. So how can I handle all this drama in my life? How can I get better? What a challenge shouldn't be seen like a burden. It's a call to transformation. It's a call to evolution. And we pretty much go through the same challenges. But I'm going to ask you, do you know which are your 12 challenges? Probably not. And probably why 12 challenges and not 3 or 5 or 40? Why did I pick up 12? I will explain you in a minute. But I gave you a pamphlet, so I think you all have the pamphlet. What you're going to see, all the challenges are inside the pamphlet. What I want you to do at some point, write down your 3 major challenges. So you're going to see the challenges like the challenge of identity, the challenge of independence. So when you go and read them, I want you to write down which you think are your major challenges that you are facing. For people who believe, I will always be on the top of the pyramid, those things, they don't exist. I will always be, there high up and doing phenomenal. No, life is in a circle. It moves up and down. And some people that reach at the highest level, one day, they found themselves like going down, and they wonder why, I did so well one day and now I don't know what to do with my life. I don't have any money left in my account. So life is give and take. I remember that my father died. I was 20-something and died unexpectedly, talking about the challenge of give and take. And 3 days later, I had a ticket to go to America because I was born in a northern part of Transylvania, if you heard about Transylvania and Romania. So talking about a challenge, being born in poverty, being born in a country where I didn't speak English, okay? So life was taking me to New York. So I got to New York, and when my father died at his funeral, I heard his spirit telling me, look behind my grave, there is a name. You're going to go to America, you meet the name, a man whose name is behind my grave. And I pay attention, behind my father's grave, there was a name, Virgil. I came to New York, and 2 days later, a guy, very handsome and attractive, comes to me and says, my name is Virgil, are you a singer? Are you the singer from Romania? I said, yes. Do you want to sing in my place? I have a restaurant. When he said the name Virgil, I had to sit somewhere. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so shocked. The name was given to me by my father at his funeral. So it was a give and take. So what happened to me? My father was not in my life anymore, but the universe opened another door. And I got married 3 weeks later. How crazy is that, married 3 weeks later? Everybody said, well, you were nuts, Carmen. No, I was just intuitive. I realized, first of all, I said, my father knew something from the other dimension. And second of all, I said, this seems to be the guy I will be with. I had that feeling, the feeling that we all have, that intuitive mind that we all have. Not me if I don't carry all this jewelry. I go to the store with all these things, and my kids, Mama, do you need all of these things to go in the morning to buy milk? Why? You're ridiculous. I said, no, it's me. That's me. That's me. All this outfit, that is defining me because I was an entertainer. All my life, I was on the stage. I tried to make people laugh. I tried to make people feel happy and excited. And I tried to bring their attention to myself. And that's why I will never go anywhere without all my makeup and all my jewelry, because that defines me. So it's okay for you to be different. Don't try to be like other people. Don't go with the mentality, you're not allowed, what your mother tells you, you're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to be a singer. That's what I was told when I was young. And at 5 years old, I jumped on the stage, and there was a band with people in their 20s singing, and I took the microphone. Can you imagine what nerves I had, what kind of a person I was? I'm 9 years old. I took the microphone, and I said to the guys, I said, I'm better than you. You don't understand. So I believed in myself, but nobody else did, and I told everybody I'm going to be a famous singer. And my mother said, go sing in the bathroom because, you're too loud, and we are busy, we have a headache, we've been working so hard. So But that's okay for you to believe in you. Even nobody else in your family believes in you. That's fine. I have another friend of mine who's telling me, she's 60-something older than me. I'm 57. So she's telling me, Carmen, my husband has $50 million. He hardly gives me money for the grocery. What am I supposed to? He says he loves me for 50 years, but why is he not giving me money? I said, I don't know, honey. Why don't you try to make money on your own? Because you have to be able to sustain yourself. What if what happened to me will happen to you? Now, the man I told you at the very beginning, my husband Virgil, he passed away 3 years ago. And I adore him. He was my soulmate. But life is give and take. God gives and God takes. There's gain and loss. You know, when something like this is so painful, what can you do? Can you stay in that pain forever and be demoralized and end up by taking all kinds of medication and get medicated morning and night? No, it's a call for action. You have to tell yourself, from now on, there's another door. I have to look for something else. I have to take care of myself. So this is the way to think. You think about you before anything else. You put yourself first. And this is the way you meet your first challenge. Which is your first challenge? Identity and independence. You want to be you. You don't want to rely on anybody else. How many of you rely on somebody paying your bills? How painful is that? How many of you say, I cannot support myself. I mean, my mother still pays for me. That's not right. That's not something that any of you wants to go through. The problem with us is we get stuck in one challenge. And then there's no moving forward. How many of you are calling me on the radio asking me, you know what, I don't know what to do. I'm with my boyfriend, but he's not my soulmate. But then I found another guy, but that's not my soulmate either. And I don't really know what to do with my life. I don't know who's who. The problem is within you. It's not. It's who you attract, who you bring into your life. And that's exactly a reflection of you. So your second major challenge when you come in this world is actually the challenge of family. It's you're born in a family, and many of you are born in dysfunctional families, people with problems, parents who hate each other, go through a divorce, and you as a child, you suffer, but that's your challenge. You actually choose to be born in that family. It's your learning lesson. You have to evaluate what's happening you have to have that kind of a power to evaluate, the power of your mind to evaluate yourself, what's going on in the family, and that's the kind of a life you don't need. Actually, you don't want to project the same life, because a lot of people, they go through a challenge and then, like this, you know, and then they realize that, hey, this is not the kind of a life I want. Why do I attract a guy who divorced me exactly like my father divorced my mother? You tend to attract what you see. Like we used to say, somebody who is an abuser, he's been abused. So what has been done to you, you tend to do to others. In life, it's not what happens to you, it's the way you respond to what happens to you. Your own response. And that's why we're learning about the challenges. There are just like partners, people that you can be with and feel very comfortable. And after 30 years, you said, oh, he was a good guy, but he was not my soulmate. I don't really know why I married him, but now I have 3 kids with him. What am I supposed to do? So so it's true. What am I supposed to do 30 years later? I'm almost 60. It's too late to change. So I'll stay with this guy, whatever, probably tomorrow. I used to work with, I have to tell you, this is so funny. I used to work with a lady, we share an office on Fifth Avenue, and she was my colleague, and we were sharing the office. She was telling me, Carmen, I hate my husband. He was cheating on me with the cleaning lady. You believe this? And I have 3 kids with him, but the house is on his name. So I'm going to stay with him and wait for him to die. I said, this guy is not going to die. No, tell me he's going to die, Carmen, because I know that I'm serious. I'm telling you a real story. Anytime I think about it, it makes me laugh. She said, well, you can imagine what this guy did. His lover was actually the cleaning lady. He brought her and moved her in the house. And I accepted everything because of this house is $12 million. They lived on Park Avenue. I'm not going to let this house go. But you know, he was very sneaky. He put the house only on his name. And look at me where I am. I'm trapped for all these years. All the people who come to see you, you're a counselor. You tell them, go get a divorce. Don't stay in this mess and look at your own life. I mean, you're staying in this mess and you're advising everybody else to get a divorce. So what kind of a therapist are you, you know? Like I find my soulmate, 27 years, we were happy, we were married, we have 3 kids. One day, my husband got lung cancer and he was gone. And I wake up alone and I said, well, I can choose to be miserable for a very long time, or I can choose to prove myself that I can be strong, that I'm not gonna feed in those emotions of sadness, and I'm not gonna be devastated, and I'm gonna try to talk to him. And that's what I do. I talk all the time with him on the other side, and I talk to my mother on the other side, my father on the other side. And it's interesting, anytime God gives, takes. My grandmother lived 102 years old. She lived in she didn't know how to write. She had no idea how to write her name. She was a simple woman. She lived without water. They carried the water. They were so poor. They were in a country in the middle of nowhere without anything. But she had the key to life. She had the wisdom of surviving. She buried her children. Her husband died when she was 50 years old. The communists came at her door and said, I'm gonna take your land. And she said, okay, I'm not attached to this land. You can take it. So she had the wisdom, as simple woman as she was. She said, take the land. Her husband had a stroke. He got so desperate and he died. But she said, I need to survive. And she lived up to 102. Her mother lived 112. She died talking. She died. I'm serious. I don't know how she lives, so I don't understand. Those people, it's reality. It's the reality of my life. I remember I called my grandmother when she turned 100, and I asked her, how are you doing? She said, well, I'm very happy. I'm here with these kids. I don't know what they are for me anymore. They're grand. So I told them to call me lady, because I don't know what they are for me anymore. Because she had her first child when she was 16. So you think this is so magic. You think backward, how people live without anything. My grandmother, cellulars, television, she had no idea of any of this. You know, this is our creation. Everything that's happening so fast right now. Well, your own mind is divine, because your own mind should be plugged in a divine energy. And you know when you are divine? When you think in a divine way. And how is the divine thinking? The loving way, the good way, the positive way, and never the negative, and never allow yourself a negative thought, because then you breaking away from the divine. But I really think that there is a divine guidance. I really feel, in my feeling, is that the world is governed from above. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but it's governed from a higher dimension. There is a divinity that is hard to identify. For all of you, invite the divine intervention always to come into your life.